Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I want to laugh because of a couple of things. One
Oh,
of which I'm going to kind of review the news. One of the news segments from yesterday in regards to a certain player who actually made a statement on his Instagram account that he's leaving. And yeah, you would have seen my reaction to that yesterday, and some other bits and pieces. But I've got my brother who's joining me on the Tuesday afternoon catch up show. What happened to Sunday morning catch up show? Doesn't
it's
matter.
work. It's work. Yeah,
It's
I really did enjoy doing the Sundays, and I like the conversation we had. I think we're gonna have another one after you come back from your jollies, as it were. You and your partners will break. But
nice.
yeah, I do enjoy the Sunday catch ups. I think they're kind of special, kind of it's like a round down or round up of what's going to happen
Yeah, or what's just happened.
or
But
what's going to happen.
again, going by the figures, if you can really, because even it was my mum and my sister and my wife just watching Ralph and myself just gas on about Arsenal. Really, I'd be happy with that. But again, the numbers dictate that you guys appear to love the Sunday morning catch-up show, or the Tuesday afternoon catch-up show. You
Or
guys
the
like
Wednesday.
the
It's
anyway,
any
as
day
usual, guys,
catch
we'll
up.
see you on the other side. What?
I said it's an any day catch up.
Yeah, that's it, man. We might make an eighth day. There's only 7 days in a week. But anyway, see you guys on the other side of this music intro when I get into some funny news on a Canon Photo TV. Yes, indeed, yes. Welcome back to the Tuesday afternoon catch-up show. I'm having problems like catching up, man. God, daring me. But anyway, the most important thing that you guys can do is usually make sure you subscribe before you do anything else. By no means Amazon Prime. We're better than Amazon Prime, Ralph.
Yes, we are. But if there's any sponsorship coming that way, we don't want to stop on there. We won't say no. It's all
Subscribe.
or nothing.
People subscribe. That's all you have to do. Just subscribe. All right. So in the new segment of today, and I want to repeat this part because Ralph is on the show with me, and I want to get his opinion about this new segment about this youngster here. Matteo Guzzi suddenly announces he's quitting Arsenal in a lengthy statement. I kind of clipped it down because I thought, oh, you know what? I don't want to read everything that he said. Matteo Guendouzi has confirmed he is leaving Arsenal. And at that point, I laughed my head off. Why? Because Mikel Arteta must be on his knees. Saying, thank God he's leaving. I don't have to deal with that youngster anymore. He's left. He's left the building. The French midfielder who spent last season on loan at Hertha Berlin took to Instagram to announce the news with a lengthy statement, Ralph. There was no official statement from the club. He went to Instagram and gave his own statement. And now it's deleted, that appeared on both Twitter and Instagram. He wrote, "Thank you, Arsenal. Thanks for everything. I discovered and learned so much during my time here. It would be impossible to list everything without forgetting one memory or word. But I will never forget any minutes spent with the Gunners jersey. I will never forget the Emirates Stadium. I will never forget the fans. I won't forget the city. I will never forget everything I've been through here. I will never forget any of forget that my only with what's saying that will also I will defend the pride of Arsenal colours. That's all of those who have believed in me during my time here, during the good and the bad moments, too many bad to mention. I can only wish the best to the club and its fans who deserve so much. Trust me. Goodbye, Arsenal. I will never forget you and will be a Gooner forever. I doubt that very much. There's some more words, but I can't be bothered to read through it, Ralph. But I'm just thinking the first thing that came to mind was an image of Mikel Arteta thinking, thank God he's leaving. He's left Arsenal. I don't have to deal with him anymore. He's left. I didn't have to say anything. He put out a statement on his Instagram. He's left the building. Ralph, your thoughts, Mikel Arteta, and Mr. Matteo Guendouzi, Ralph.
Well, you seem rather proud of that. You see, I saw your segment yesterday, and I was thinking, okay, Alex, you know, I think we have to like let it go now. But I think you've enjoyed every moment of that. Jeez. Well, you know what? I think there's always going to be like maybe two ways that we can always look at a situation. Maybe he has been sincere and rather regretful of his actions. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't know the youngster. You know, it's a shame that he's gone in the way that he has gone. But if Arteta is going to start stepping up that kind of intention, then it'd be good to see what he does with the other players that's meant to be leaving the club as well. Or has he asked them if they want to stay? And I'm on about the targeted Xhaka and Bellerin. So that's one way of looking at it. I suppose the second way you can look at it like a Lex Luthor kind of vibe. It's like, I'm not going to forget everything that's happened at the club. So when I do come back in whatever capacity, I'll may show you the way that you know what you're missing. You know what I mean? It's like anything in life. You know, when you're being sacked from a job or you're removed or something, you want to show those kind of people that actually you was right, and the only way to do that is in actions. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with him in the next year or so, on that kind of adventure that he's reveling in. I did see on Twitter there was a segment of when some fans caught up with him after a North London derby, and you know the car roars off and he's half hanging out the car, you know, screaming. And I think that's just youthful exuberance, if anything. You know, we was all, you know, youngsters once upon a time, and we probably did a lot of things that we don't want to admit. You know what I mean? But
speak for yourself.
Okay. All right. Alex was always good. never did any wrong. But I think that's just the way it is. I think, you know, time is a great healer and a great teacher. So it'd be good to see in time to see, you know, where his journey is and if he will mature and maybe when if he does come back to play against Arsenal, if he has any like good advice to maybe pass on to people and say, you know what, don't follow what I did because I made that mistake. This is the way a professional should be. That's me giving him a wide berth. I think I've taken my bucket challenge, and I'm just saying, okay, you know what? It's a shame that it's gone. I defended him. It's a shame that it's gone, but sometimes, and this is a conversation that Alex and I did have last night about certain things. Sometimes you have to close the door. You have to close the door. So as one door closes for him, let's hope that the next door that opens for him, it will make him a bit of a better person.
I've got to say, we did put a poll, Rap. I'm not sure if you saw the poll in regards to Matteo Guendouzi. And the options were that he deserves another chance, he deserved to be sold, or again, the option whether you can't decide between all the options there. And the poll we started yesterday, out of 820, I mean, the guys on the votes, phenomenal, 825 votes so far. So the can't decides 4%. He deserves to be sold 37%. And 59% of you believe that he deserved another chance, Ralph.
It's, like I said, I'll give you another example. What about Wayne Rooney when he was a youngster? Look at the amount of transgressions that he done, not just to the club, but to his partner as well. And yet he was seen as, you know, shining example, starlet, scored a lot of goals for England and Man United, won a cup, you know, cups and premierships as well, and Champions League. So, you know, I think it depends on the manager. It depends on how far a manager's willing to back his player, and also when the manager has to step in and say, "Hang on now, enough's enough." You know, this. If you look at football as a history, there's always been lots of players that's had lots of talents, but then their failings have gone as dragged them to the wayside. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of professional players who would say, if only they did the good things more, you know. But you don't know that when you're with your group of people, your entourage, when you have as much media attention then the person your age doesn't have because they're working a 9 to 5 or a regular job, so to speak. You know, the pressures are vastly great, and the temptations as well. And also, you know, when like we said, Alex, last night, when you're in your early 20s, mid 20s, you think that you can rule the world, but you can't do that if you've got a steady, mature hand. If you don't have that maturity or understanding or awareness, then life is a really good teacher. You know what I mean? It's a really good teacher. It'll show you your shortcomings, and it has no problem with whacking you in the face now and again as well. So maybe it'd be a good thing. It's a good thing that Guendouzi has gone on that way. But now, again, maybe now, if Arteta's glad about that, does that mean that Arteta is going to start raising the bar on expectations on what he expects his players to be? And if they go either side of that expectation, or below the expectation, is he going to be the man just to step in and say, "Hang on now, you know, that's Guendouzi. You've done pretty much the same thing. You have to leave the club." You're going to be that ruthless.
I mean, I honestly don't know, Ralph. I really don't know with Mikel Arteta. What I do know of the report I read yesterday in regards to Cesc Fabregas. Fabregas says that he's got links. You know, he speaks to a lot of the players who play Arsenal, and the players tell him that they're quite happy being managed under Mikel Arteta.
Don't you think though? Do you think that they may just want to say that just to try and keep the peace and hope they're not going to get moved along?
Possibly. I did think
also, it could be just. Is it officially from Cesc Fabregas? Is it from his? Is it from a reliable source or?
Yeah, he was on Talk Sport. He said he was on Talk Sport, and the first thing that came to mind was, did you really need to say that, Cesc? You didn't have to actually declare it, did you? Put literally the dirty washing out on the line for everyone to see. You didn't have to say that. Didn't have to say that. And then the second thing I did think about was, are the players just saying that just to try and keep everything undercover?
Yeah.
I don't know, Ralph. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think. I mean, this is a really difficult kind of place to be, because if he's still got friends at Arsenal, let's not forget, he was there for quite a while, but he was more successful at Chelsea and Barcelona and Spain. So it's to me it seems really kind of, I'm not sure if it's going to be detrimental to the present squad. And it also brings at odds with Arteta as well. Because if Arteta's hearing that and he's laying down the law, surely there's some kind of conflict. There's going to be some kind of conflict there. It's a powerful player. He's a friendly professional.
But what concerns me, Ralph, above anything else, there is that the players are really just said what they're really thinking. Then it means that they're happy, and not a lot of the players are going to be sold in the transfer window, Ralph, because players who are not happy are most likely going to be sold. But if they're happy being at Arsenal playing under the manager, they're not going anywhere, Ralph. They are not going anywhere. Not many transfer sellings in this transfer window, Ralph.
No, there hasn't been. And you know what? I will side along with you on that. If they are happy, if they're saying to the manager, remember we used to play cricket, and Simon Dodds, God rest his soul. He used to when captains would say, who's fit. He used to say, I'm fit, and he's jogging on the spot and everything. But if the players are doing that kind of like motion, then maybe you might be right. Maybe your notion may be right. The fact that there may not be much. There's a lot of transfer chatter at this moment in time, but there's no real solid coming in. But at the same time, we were saying I'd rather get rid of the players that haven't served us.
Yeah, so would I. So would I. But it appears, again, Sess is saying that all the players are happy. They're all happy. There's no consequences, Ralph. We spoke about consequences yesterday. There are no consequences. The players know, literally, you know what, even if I don't, try my best, I'm still going to get a wage at Arsenal. It doesn't really, I don't have to worry about anything because I will still be at Arsenal. No consequences, Ralph. There's no ruthlessness.
So, for example, the W man, does that mean that he's happy to come back then?
I mean, I just kind of thought that he sabotaged the move, Ralph. Why? The story went like this. He wanted to stay at Arsenal. He demanded a 3-year contract at Chelsea. They didn't give him that, but he wanted to stay in London. He went across London. We gave him what he wanted. Had a disastrous season at Arsenal. Next thing you see him, he's prospecting in Miami, looking for a property, somewhere to stay. And then we hear he demanded more than £8 million. More than £8 million, which equates to 160,000 pounds per week. And now into Miami, so actually, we can't pay you that money. So he's coming back to Arsenal. So for me, Ralph, it felt like he sabotaged that move there. He sabotaged it. Why would you not just accept whatever they're going to give you just to get away from Arsenal? So really, you don't want to get away from Arsenal. You want to. You're going to be quid
in London. You also stay in London.
Of course, Ralph.
Everything's all central. So why? Yeah. So he probably thought that. What would have been brilliant? What would have been brilliant is if they said, "Okay, we'll give you what you want," and then he would have said, "Oh, hang on a minute, I might have an ACL coming up."
Oh dear, what a joke. Let's go to the next news segment. Talking about managers. Patrick Vieira has now been appointed as the Crystal Palace next manager. The former Arsenal captain emerged as Palace's preferred candidate after a lengthy process since Hodgson announced he was leaving the club on the 18th of May. The 45-year-old Frenchman has signed a 3-year contract with the Eagles, who finished 14th. I didn't realise they finished so low in the league last year. Vieira went on to say that I'm really excited to have this opportunity to return to the Premier League. Well, I don't know what kind of a manager will he end up being at the Eagles. He wanted to say that it's a project that is really appealing to me. Having spoken to a lot of with the chairman, Steve Parish, and the sporting director, Dougie Freeman, about their ambition and plans for the whole club, including the academy. The club has a fantastic foundation in place after many years in the Premier League, and I hope we can make further improvements and continue to drive the club forward. So I think, Ralph, as we spoke, Vieira was sacked by Nice in December, but he's back in the Premier League, Ralph. Back in the Premier League, man.
I've got a nodding head figure of him. But if I know that was one of the segments, I'll pull it out and talk to him and say, "What are you doing? What are you doing with Crystal Palace?" Hey, listen, it's great because he's back in the Premiership and he knows how the Premiership runs. You know what I mean? And he will. I think the Crystal Palace players will get a lot of experience from him. The only conflicting things that we had this conversation a while back about him and Daniel Ek, and I think was he going to be managing or coaching a team in the Championship before he came over, and I said that how isn't that a conflict of interest? And you said, well, no, it's not, because it's not. It's a different. it's a different kettle of fish, as it were, in terms of where he is. But now, surely he cannot be an ambassador for Arsenal, um, with the potential move for Daniel Ek as an agent, and yet be a manager for Crystal Palace.
Yeah, but Ralph, he's not an. He's only added his voice to the movement, Ralph. He doesn't hold any ambassador role for the Daniel Ek movement. So there's no conflict of interest.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying, but I think that there is. I think that you cannot focus on managing Crystal Palace when your interests and the way that the future could shape up for Arsenal. I think that's too many spinning plates.
I don't see the
conflict. So how could you be really focused managing a team? Your time is let's face it, from the first match that Crystal Palace has and him as manager until the last match of the season it's going to be a honeymoon period. So he's going to be allowed to make a few mistakes. The players will probably be on the high for maybe the first few matches, and then when the season starts getting more entrenched, and you're involved with FA Cup runs and that kind of stuff, you're thinking the whole time about how to manage your team. And then all of a sudden, you're going to have Daniel Ek on the phone saying, "Well, I'm getting a bit closer to Arsenal." You're not going to have that same conversation, because your mind is too much on the here and now with Crystal Palace.
I don't see the conflict of interest, Ralph.
Okay.
There is no contract signed between Daniel Ek and Patrick Vieira. Vieira does not hold an ambassador role. He's just given his thoughts on what the Cronkies should do. That's all he's done. There's no consortium which includes Patrick Vieira, Dennis Bergkamp, and Thierry Henry. They've just added their voice to a one Kroenke out. Unless somebody has got like any final details, I can't see any conflict of interest, Ralph. He's just saying that the Cronkies should do the right thing and leave Arsenal. Sell Arsenal to Daniel Ek. There is,
I think it will become a distraction, and
okay.
Let's not forget as well. With the placings of Crystal Palace, the fans will be aware of how focused Vieira would be on their team while we're having this infighting, as it were, at Arsenal as well. And if anything was to go, or if there's any kind of comments from Daniel Ek, if he says, for example, well, Patrick Vieira said that how I should be doing X, Y, Z, then that's where the conflict will come in. He can give an opinion, but I think it's going to have to be a rather closed room conversation, so to speak. And Daniel Ek will have to just act with Thierry Henry and Dennis Bergkamp. Everyone would know that Vieira may be part of it, but if nothing's validated by Daniel Ek, then it's just speculation. It only becomes hard and fact if Daniel Ek was to say, well, actually, the eve of Crystal Palace playing against them down the road, for example, Patrick told me about what to do next, and then I think that's when the conversation will start getting more entrenched. So I feel like it'd be too much of a distraction for Vieira. He's got to get this right as well with Crystal Palace. If any kind of improvements that he does for Crystal Palace will further cement him as a more permanent manager. At this moment in time, from the first match until maybe we'll see how he manages halfway in. It's a honeymoon period, and if all the fans are happy, then he'll be happy. I think it's when the first defeat comes in, and when they're on a run, when they're on a bad run, then you know how fickle fans are, Alex. They'll just like, well, hang on a minute now. How focused is he on Crystal Palace? And he's an ex-Arsenal. Look at Cesc Fabregas. He's just put everything under the apple cart and he's an ex-Chelsea player, ex-Chelsea, but he's got friends in Arsenal. Now we've got an ex-Arsenal legend at Crystal Palace who's managing, so he's going to be under the spotlight 24/7.
Yeah, but we have. He will have to, cross that bridge when he comes to that bridge. We're not. He's not
Yeah,
at that stage yet.
No, but I'm just putting it out there.
All right, and the last bit of news, again, another bit of news that made me laugh, absolutely laugh my head off. Brighton have rubbish speculation that Arsenal have reached an agreement to land Ben White. Ben White had a fight in the middle of the night and are yet to give hope of keeping hold of the defender beyond the summer. The Gunners are intent on adding quality to the options at the back for the forthcoming season and are pushing hard to sign England international White, 23, who's regarded as one of the finest young centre-backs in the Premier League. Arsenal had 2 ambitious opening offers rejected for White's signature. But Football London this week reported that Brighton had accepted a third bid of £50 million from North London Giants. However, according to the Argus, well-placed source at Brighton labelled these claims as absolute rubbish, with the Seagulls in no rush to part with a player so integral to Graham Potter's plans. So as of today, Arsenal have not signed anyone. Nobody. No incomings, no outgoings. To make it sound like a balance sheet for some enterprise. There are no players. No player has signed for Arsenal. People are scramping and scraping and saying, oh, well, Arsenal have signed this player. Who? We've not signed any player there. Ben White. It's not happening, people. Not happening. Go on, Ralph.
Alex. Hang on a minute. Where's this £250 million? Where is that?
In your pocket, Ralph.
I'm sorry, Alex. If I had £250 million in my pocket, I don't think I'll be here right now. We'll be doing this by the Copa America, Alex. You'll be in Colombia. You be in Colombia. I'll be outside Wembley doing this if I had £250 million in our pocket, mate. No. You know what, Alex? I have to be totally honest. I don't know much about this Ben White guy. I don't know much about him.
You don't want to, mate. I just laugh. Linked to this player, and I've always said, Arsenal, if we're lucky, Ralph, Arsenal might sign maybe 1, maybe 2 players, with maybe 1 or 2 players also being sold to Arsenal. But yeah, this news there, I'm thinking, Brighton has said that it's lies. It's all lies.
I don't like the statistics.
Oh, dearie me, man. But anyway, go on.
This is silly season. This every summer it's the same thing. I think the only thing that's changed is we're just getting a bit more wiser now, and we just want to see somebody wearing the shirt, and then we know it's official. And this 250 million was only to maybe hustle up those really hardened fans for the season tickets as well. How it'd be interesting to find out how the season ticket sales have been going, if they've been going at all. Was there an official release prior to the Euros, or the pre-season's not far off?
I read something yesterday about season ticket holders who what was it? Again, I might have to read it out, but I don't want to give any kind of false information. But I'll probably need to read that tweet out. I actually need to find it first. But something about if you are of a certain level, they are offering the season tickets. I was thinking, right, okay, Arsenal are not stupid,
Oh no,
they're stupid. No. The fan base are stupid.
No, I would say that when it comes to trying to get money out of the fans, that's where they're smart. But they're not smart when it comes to trying to get players from other teams. That kind of street smart that literally just left the building.
God, dear me. Anyway, guys, you're watching now. I've got my brother with me. It's the Tuesday afternoon catch up, not Sunday morning catch up. Like my brother says, like any day catch up. Put a whole heap of pepper sauce on this one, man. But anyway, we're gonna leads us into a little commercial break. I know you guys like the little breaks, and
I like the music.
oi, it's not about the music, geezer.
No, I need to trim down, man. I need to trim down.
There you go. I need to trim down as well, man. Trim down. Yeah, put order in. Receive a 20% discount off any order you put in now. It's not about the music, Ralph. Do you know what? At some stage, I need to modify that because I always kind of get caught out. I know when I put like the information at the end, kind of gives me an inclination, but because the music is so damn good, I kind of get caught out. But it's not about the music. We're on order. Put order in. Yeah, get your 20% off, man. Anyway, let's go into live chat for the first time and see who has joined us on this one. Got Kennedy who says, what is going on at the Emirates? I'm Kennedy from Kenya, and I'm on Arsenal blood. Arsenal blood? You mean you got Arsenal in your blood?
Is he linked to any of the players from the past?
Maybe. Okay, Kennedy. We had Ray Kennedy.
Ray Kennedy. Yeah.
Okay, right. Anyway, Ron Mars says hello. So
hello, Ron. Hello, Ron.
The Assemble says, good afternoon, chaps. He wants to deal with Bedouin, Shaka, William, Louis, Tobias, Mustafi, Leno. This is the real problem. That is it, isn't it? I mean, for me, it's like you're choosing easy targets. I mean, Guendouzi, yeah, we'll get him out. But, yeah, are you able to deal with all these other people there, Mr. Mikel Arteta?
And those are just some of the people that he asked for them to stay. It's like telling your best friend, isn't it? Telling your best friend, you know, I don't want you to go, but you have to leave. But I'll let you make the decision when you're ready. Well, he ain't gonna go, is he?
Dear me. Fake Shack says, "Well, go on, Alex. What's happening, Fake Shack?" And it says you've become. I thought you were a member before. But anyway, I'm not sure what's happened there, Fake Shack. That's weird. I thought you were a member before. Anyway. Happy Slapper Kid. Happy Slapper Kids. Modify the handle there. I'm not sure I like him that. Why am I hearing Smith Rowe is joining Aston Villa? I have no idea. I have no idea. I know Aston Villa have put in a third bid. But it doesn't say that he's joining Aston Villa. It just means that they're like a dog to a bone. They won't let go of Emil Smith Rowe, but he's not joining. It's just they put in a third bid.
But has Emma Smith Rowe signed yet?
Well, no.
So that's what's going to fuel this particular prior, isn't it? It's the fact that he hasn't signed yet. And Aston Villa are thinking, oh well, if he hasn't signed, it means that we can put a bid in. How long is it going to be before they put more of a bid that becomes tempting? Because these are money people, aren't they? You know what I mean? I won't put it past them, Max. I won't put it past them.
Yeah. There's something in it. Zach says Mikel Arteta is a good coach, but Arsenal need a top manager. Popeye Goodness says, afternoon, gents. Aside from his mismanagement of Guendouzi, is it mismanagement? Do you think senior players, what? I don't think you finished what you wanted to say there. I think Popeye. Moses, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Alex. Arteta is definitely to be sacked this coming season. Other clubs are making clever signings. Why Arsenal are going after players that will not be starting? Take Arteta seriously. Moving on.
That was linked to the previous.
Was it? Yeah.
I think so.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Do you think that senior players take Arteta seriously?
I think if they did, then they would have pulled out more performances of games that we should have won. If you remember, there was that one match where Lacazette said how we didn't listen to the manager for the first half. So that statement alone says, well, if you don't respect me when I'm telling you what to do, and it's taking you 45 minutes to find out actually what I was saying made sense, then I mean that's a finable. That's finable.
And droppable.
And droppable as well.
Yeah.
I get you into play, not the other way around. You don't get me into manage.
The Assemble says Arteta, Arsenal marketing again in my eyes. Did Cess and Arteta play together?
I don't think so. I think Cess had gone, didn't he, when Arteta came in? Arteta wasn't there for very long.
You sure, Ralph?
No. It may have been. I don't think he was there very long with Arteta. I've got a feeling that they may have missed each other.
Let's have a look. See his playing career at Arsenal. So he came. He was done by 2011. Arsenal. I think they may have played together, Ralph. I think.
Well, it wasn't for very long, but I would say maybe a season. I don't think they played for very long.
Let's have a look here. 2011. Well, it says that Arteta came in 2011. So you're right. You're right. Just for a season, isn't it? If that, yeah. Okay. Cess last season was 2011. Arteta's first season at Arsenal was 2011.
So at the club at the same time, but
yeah,
did they play at the same time? I don't recall seeing or recalling Arteta playing with Cesc Fabregas.
Okay, all right. No. Marcus says William is happy to stay in London with his high wages for 2 more years. Ed is happy to refuse signing a new deal and get his wages to go on a free next season. Like we said, I mean, for me, it's like he was sabotaging the move to Inter Miami. I mean, why would you demand that level of wages? He wants to stay
full well. Knowing full well you're not going to get it. Knowing full well that you're not going to get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Afternoon, gents, says Popeye. William came to Arsenal because of promises made by Arteta. He's trying or tried to leave within a year. even though he signed a 3-year contract. But then there's someone like who said, why would you demand something knowing fully well you're not going to get that amount of money? Why? He wants to stay in London. Doesn't want to go and play in Miami. You know, across the Atlantic. He wants to stay in London. That's where his family is. He's got a business in London. Doesn't want to go and play in another country.
Or why don't you go to China? They're offering big money.
You can tell Ralph doesn't like Willian.
Well, yeah, I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like the fact. I always say this. I don't like the fact that Arsenal. It's not the first time. It's not the second time. It's about maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th time. Have gone for ex-players that were well-established rivals. They've come into our team, into our club, and they haven't kicked on. They haven't kicked on. You know, they haven't made us win the Premiership. Since the amount of times that we've gotten ex-Chelsea players into the team, we haven't won the Premiership. We may have gotten away with an FA Cup or two, but that's just about it. That's not where the emphasis was for the team at that time. It was meant to be still maintaining top 4, which they did, but to kick on, to sit in amongst Man United, Liverpool, and Man City and Chelsea at that time, and we haven't done that. So whether subconsciously or in a kind of like sabotage kind of way, and this sounds a really bold statement, when those players did come from Man United and Chelsea to the Arsenal fold, it didn't make the team kick on any. We didn't win those big trophies. And all they got was a fact check and, you know, a little wave goodbye, and that was it. They're more well known for who they used to play for, not playing for Arsenal. Not playing for Arsenal. So that's why, you know, I'd rather that we got youngsters in last season than spending money on Willian. Why did we tell Ainsley Maitland-Niles to stay and then he's gone off? What happened to Reece Nelson? What happened to Joe Willock? Joe Willock played really great for Newcastle. And then from what I've been hearing, reports that, you know, he's glad to come back. But is he going to get a starting line? Is he going to be playing for the starting 11? Why is Arteta still holding out on Saliba or not doing anything with Saliba? We've got so many questions, and you know it's July. Pre-season is not far off. All these little annoyances should have been dealt with as soon as the transfer window was up. And you know what? It's going to continue until the transfer window closes. And we've got 3 great matches. And the first one, I have not seen us improve against Brentford. And Brentford are newly promoted. So take from that what you will.
I'll say nothing. Ron Miles says Saka banging in a hat-trick against Denmark incoming. That's if he gets selected to play in a starting 11.
And I got a feeling that I've been saying this for the last couple of matches, and England have surprised me. But we are playing against a team riding the crest of a wave of emotion about what happened to Eriksen. Every team that's gone against them, in a sense, have you know, fallen to the wayside short. I don't know what England's got to do to get them to get themselves beyond this hurdle. But this is no walk in the park. Apparently, I've heard that the last couple of times that we played against Denmark, we lost one and drew. So this is no walk in the park. Don't be under any kind of like illusion that, oh, you know what, it's coming home. No, it's not coming home until it's the trophies in the cabinet as moments in time. With Spain and Italy tonight, I've got a feeling that Italy is just going to crank up the pressure even more. So that's not going to be an easy hurdle to go over either. It's going to be really, really tough. I'm optimistic, but it's going to be really, really tough for England to beat Denmark. You may have all the fans at home, but the way that Southgate has set up the team is that, I take my hat off to him. But Denmark's a different kettle of fish. They're really toughened. Their passing is really sharp. They've got some really good players. They'll match England in terms of experience. Their players are more experienced than our young players. And it'd be interesting to find out what happens when England go a goal down or 2 goals down. What happens then? We haven't gone. It's the longest time that England's in a tournament hasn't conceded. I think the real test of a team is when you concede and you still manage to play and still manage to win. So that's my thought. Yeah. It'd be nice, but I just say, "Viva Colombia!"
I'm not saying anything, Ralph.
What's this about your lovely lady waking you up after when you've won and you dozed off?
I
think you were there for the penalties.
I was tired, Ralph, man. I put the alarm on, and the alarm went off at 11, and I found a couple of YouTube channels, of course, of Spanish commentators, and for like the first 10, 15 minutes, I listened. I just fell asleep. And then I woke up and heard somebody saying, "Oh, Colombia, Spain." I said, "What are you talking about?" And I heard, yeah, penalties. We're beating them 4-2 on penalties. I was thinking, yeah. But I was tired, Ralph, man. I was really, really tired, man.
But then one of your players who scored the penalty, he was like over cheering. I saw a clip of it on I think it's on BBC iPlayer. Like I think it's the second or third penalty taker, and like he was like cheering. I was thinking, hang on a minute, the opposition still got to take their penalty as well. So if if they hit that one, then it could go either way.
What I did see, I saw when Ospina saved the penalty, and like he was about to cheer, but I think that the third official on the line told him something, and I thought, oh, he's probably told him that you cannot cheer yet because you're not through yet. But you can see it's like, and he realized, no, we've made it through. We've made it through.
Oh, Spina!
Anyway, if you have £250 million, why would you be after Ben White and not Varane? Varane, I tell you, is a wonderful French defender. Thought world class against a potential. You want top 4, so you buy potential instead of world class, even though you have 200. Listen, the £250 million is a fallacy. It's not true. Yeah. It's not true. We don't have that money there. Don't have it. There's no conflict of interest with Vieira going to Palace. The legends have their own careers to sort out and live out. They're not waiting on Kroenke to decide. Oh, okay, Ralph. There you go. You've been told, Ralph. There's no conflict.
Okay.
I just resubscribed. Okay, what happened? I don't understand. I thought you were always a member. But anyway. Khan Burham says, hello, what's going on with Ben White? Just to say Ben White, Brighton have said themselves that there's been no third bids. It's a lie. There's no third bids. They're quite happy to have this youngster playing for Brighton. But what I'm thinking, but surely Ben White, if he's such a wonderful centre-back, he'd want to go to a top club. Arsenal are not a top club. There's no European football to be had. There's no third bids. Anyway. Static, our VAR. For our Tuesday afternoon catch-up show. I need to kind of process that.
It doesn't roll right. It doesn't roll.
Sunday morning catch-up show. Dear. He says 12 likes. Hit the like buttons, everyone. Thank you for that. Locatelli has said no to Arsenal. Yeah, and he said no to Barcelona. Well, it wasn't. He didn't say no to Barcelona. It was the director of football who said Locatelli is not a big enough name for us to sign him. I'm thinking, oh, you know what? He's the one player, Ralph, I've said for 3.5 weeks that I wouldn't mind Arsenal, could sign. But yeah, but is that true? He said no to Arsenal. I need to do my own homework, Mister. What's his name? Mr. Kapoor. Mr. Kapoor. I'm gonna do my own homework. You want to say something, Ralph?
I'm just thinking. I can tell it's probably thinking.
Yeah. I'll do my own homework. Arteta must have to sign best midfielders, and he must follow Arsenal Wenger tactic, just via using the 4-5-1 formation. 4-5. I don't know. I think Arsenal Wenger used a 4-4-2, not 4-5-1 formation. And Ralph's gone sideways.
Sorry.
No, Arsenal Wenger used the 4-4-2 formation, not 4-5-1. Anyway, all right. They did not play together. Okay. Oops. What's he saying? They got some stats here. He's saying, assessed 2010, 11, Arteta 11, 12. Okay, who am I to complain and argue that? Arsenal must spend money if they play champions, says Amos. We will never be the Arsenal we were until we stop panic buying. That's a good point, actually. What we do is buy big in one position, then buy 5 million and loan players for the other 6 positions. Not good enough. Alex Raz, I feel sorry for Saliba. I cannot believe Arsenal did not include a buy option for Marseille. They are deliberately torturing him psychologically as well. Raz, that is correct. The last 2 meetings was 0-0 away, a draw, and 1-0 loss at home. Ironically, Eriksen scored the winning goal. England must remain very cautious. Think of that static. Popeye has said, are Arsenal too dependent on statistical data and analysts when recruiting players? I read somewhere KSE owns a company like this, which is used by all his sporting clubs. I think, well, we've got 2 things that we now rely on. One is agents network. There's no scouting network anymore. That's long since gone. We have a bunch of agents communicating with each other to try and identify players. And the other things, like you say there, I think we're too reliant on statistics. I'd far rather have people on the ground watching players, young players, who might have the potential to play in the first team there. But yeah, statistics, I mean, you can manipulate statistics to give you the result that you want. We are in the situation for a reason. No scouting network and only a database of statistics on certain players. You're right there, Ralph, you're back.
Yeah. So technical issues, probably the amount of metrics I'm not being used in and that kind of stuff.
Also need to balance. We need at least 1 good defender and 2 creative midfielders. Arsenal, they play its drama of signings good players. Alex Raz, congratulations on reaching 12,000 subscribers. Thank you for that. Static, my brother. Come for the honest question. Who is a bigger club, Arsenal or Chelsea? Please give a non-biased answer. Ralph, over to you.
Okay, well, I say Arsenal is the bigger club in terms of history, but Chelsea is the bigger club in terms of what they've done so far. They have a potential of doing a lot more with the right buys. They are very ruthless. I'll put their ruthlessness almost on the same level as Man United. Man United's manager Ferguson was very ruthless. He didn't take any nonsense from any players. He got rid of Beckham. He kept faith with Scholes. He got rid of Vidic, I think it was. He kept Keane, but then he got rid of Keane. So it shows how ruthless he was. And Chelsea, with an owner who's ruthless, he doesn't have to stick with a particular manager. Hence the reason why they've won about, I believe, 4 premierships and 3 FA Cups, and now 2 Champions League. So in recent history, Chelsea has done more than Arsenal would have done. They've done more in a shorter space of time than Arsenal have done within the last 10 years. If you look at Arsenal's 10 years compared to Chelsea, trophy-wise, Chelsea trumps Arsenal. And I don't like admitting it and saying it, but I will be unbiased. I'm an Arsenal fan. I've been an Arsenal fan since '71. But we have always led the way against the Man United and Liverpool, if you want to look at it from that kind of historical kind of curvature. But we didn't. One of the things that we could have cemented ourselves on would have been would have been the first London team to win the Champions League. Now Chelsea have done that. So for us to do that, we'll have to not just win it twice. We have to win it as many times as we won FA Cups. How possible is that? It's only possible if we have a manager who's going to be as ruthless as your owner, as a Chelsea owner. And in the history, we have not seen that. We've only seen it in small pockets. So the consistency of Chelsea at this moment is the fact that they are ruthless. The managers don't have a long shelf date, but they actually win something. Arsenal, we keep saying that Arsenal's in transition, but Arsenal's been in transition since Wenger left. When Wenger his last 5 years before he actually left, we was going backwards. So Arsenal now have to galvanize. They have to find that hard edge, steel edge that our competitors have in order to become as ruthless and as successful as our competitors. And I'm only putting Chelsea at this moment in time, Man City, Liverpool, and I'll put them, Arsenal's got to be more like them. Leicester is coming up on the bounce. Leicester's buying well. West Ham had a great season, but we'll see what happens this season. Anyone can have a really good first season. You've got to be consistent. Who else? Everton. Everton's got Usmanov, who's actually sat on the board with us. And it could have gone one or two ways. If the people around the table backed Usmanov, we wouldn't be hearing about Kroenke, and Arsenal would have been. It's all ifs, ands, buts, and maybes. So that doesn't really bear any kind of conversation. We are where we are at this moment in time. So unfortunately, Arsenal's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. So there you go, Adam. There's a comprehensive response to your question there. Do you think Arteta actually speaks to the players Arsenal sign? Ralph. No, because I said everything I had to say in there about the transfer. So yeah, go on.
I think Arteta will have a say, and it depends on where the conversation or how far down the road the conversation becomes where he actually talks to the player. I was watching on YouTube when David Dein and Arsene Wenger constructed a move for Sol Campbell. Now, Sol Campbell, apparently, during the Euros, he was in a restaurant, and a fan, them down the road fan, actually confronted Sol Campbell. So it just goes to show how deep his move from them to us has still affected, still does affect fans up to this very day. There's some fans from us who we don't like. We don't like Van Persie, for example. We still have a healthy respect for Cess, but we don't like Ashley Cole and Adebayor. So it affects us in different ways. But David Dean, he and Wenger constructed the most, I say the biggest kind of like shock in going for a captain of them down the road to play for Arsenal, and that's a big ask. So there must have been some kind of conversation in between, and Sol Campbell did say that Arsenal put a really good case for him to join Arsenal, and he's become a legend at the club. So Arteta, I think Arteta probably will have a conversation on who he wants, but who he wants and who he gets is two different things. I think if he gets who he wants, then there'll be a lot of conversation. He knows a lot of players, obviously at his time at Man City, but whether he has that kind of technical nous to get them to come to us and also to be backed by the owner, that's another kettle of fish. We don't have a David Dean anymore. So I think that's what we're missing.
Christopher says Arsenal is a finished club. Then Adam comes back and says, Static, big up to you, bro. Happy to see you here. Any done deals for Arsenal? Nothing. We've not signed any players. I don't have any confirmed signings. I'm sorry. Them rumors, them spreading. Arteta out, Basuma in. Adam says hi. Popeye Goonan says, from Emerson Rowe's point of view, would he rather play with Watkins, Grealish, and Buendia, or Pepe, Alba, and Saka within an attacking quartet? Oh my goodness!
You're going to give that to me, are you?
I'm going to give it to you. Right. A hot potato.
It all depends on what Emil Smith Rowe thinks he's going to get at the club, and using Alex's earlier conversation a few blogs back, if you're not going to feature, if you're not going to be given the number 10, you have to consider how long you want to stay at the club. Now, as fans, we always say that, it's not really in the player's interest to know the vision of what the manager wants. He's got to want to play for the club. But players nowadays are becoming more aware about how effective the team's going to be. The wages is always going to be there. But how effective and how much you would want your team to be successful, how much you want to win. It's great having the fans chanting your name, but it becomes a bit hollow if you don't win anything. Hence the reason why Kane is on the verge of moving from them down to potentially Man City. I wouldn't have paid 100 mil for him, but somebody wants to put 100 mil on as a ticket. So now he's thinking, I've been at them down the road for about 6 years, 7 years, and we haven't won anything major. Here we are. I'm going to Man City, and they've just they won the Premiership. They haven't won Champions League. They won the FA Cup, but at least there's more chance of winning with them than where I was. So that's what's going to be happening in Emma Smith Rowe's mind at this moment in time. Do I want to still play with my mate? But we're showing up the experienced players, and they're not pulling any trees. Or do I go to somewhere where I'm going to be in that role, week in, week out, and enjoying my football?
Oof, my goodness.
So we're not in Emma Smith Rowe's mind at this moment in time. He can only do that, and him not signing straight away like the others did, to me tends to think that's the reason why Aston Villa are upping up their task on him. If they really want him, and if they put the price from 30 to 40, then that's when you're going to start finding out, who your friends are. You know what I mean?
Dear me, people. You know what? We've come to an end on this one. We've come to an end. We've been going for an hour and 5 minutes. The hour and 5 minutes has gone so very quick. No doubt you see. Of course, I like talking and conversing with my brother. There's been quite a few comments that I couldn't catch up with. I do try and condense everything inside an hour. Sometimes we go just over an hour, and yeah, an hour and 5 minutes. Yeah, guys. Again, the numbers were astronomical in this one, Ralph. Astronomical. 80 at any one time. So thank you for that. But the most important thing you can do, apart from, of course, tuning every single time that we go live or we've got content, is to subscribe. Because if you don't subscribe, you're going to miss out and you won't be part of the community over here. Like I said, we've surpassed 12,000 subscribers. I never thought, Ralph, that I would be saying that. Never.
No.
3 and a bit years. Never.
That's appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. But I will be back tomorrow. I think, yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll give some more live news. There'll be 3 or maybe 4 segments of live news. I've got a vision, Ralph, sorry, of Mikel Arteta saying, thank you, God, there is a God. Yeah, Guendouzi is gone. He's not coming back.
Guendouzi left the building, but let's focus now. You know, Guendouzi may have left the building, but let's focus on the players that at the beginning of all this, that we was very adamant that shouldn't be in the team at this moment in time. And, you know, I've been on Twitter and having lots of chats. People seem to be liking Xhaka because he's had a good Euro. And he's dyed his hair blonde, and he's a different person. But I put it down that Blondie had a really good time, and now she's confined to history, to the 80s. Here we are, 2021. Everybody moves on, and he had his chance to do what he had to do, and he's doing it at the latter end of his career. But is it the latter end of his career at Arsenal, or is it going to be a new beginning at Roma? We don't know, but I think Arteta knows.
Yeah. All right, people. So we are out on this one. And like I said, we'll be back, or I will be back tomorrow, giving some more live news. Again, guys, the most important thing you can do is to be part of the community, and you can only do that. Well, you can do it in various ways, but the most important thing you can do right by now is to subscribe to the channel. So, Ralph, again, thanks for coming on the Tuesday afternoon catch-up show.
Let's try and see if we can get it back to a Sunday.
Oh, my days, man. So, you know what? I'm going to just to kind of play us out, because I know my brother loves to listen to the music on this particular jam here. To play us out, we're going to play the video. Fitness, get back into the trim for the summer. There's no summer over here in the UK. It's all gone. We've had the summer already. All gone. Well, no, have a look at this video, and I will see you guys tomorrow with some more live news.